Alabama survived Tennessee. They beat the Vols 34-20. You know, with the way that this game started in the first half, it looked like Tennessee was about to blow out Alabama. And then I was really surprised at how hot of a start Tennessee's offense got out to. Like, Joe Milton had his best performance all season. He was throwing some really nice passes. He threw a dot to Squirrel White really early into this game. He also had a 6-yard touchdown right before halftime. And then in the second half, I don't know what the hell happened to Tennessee's offense. They just completely fell apart, and Alabama's defense was like a boa constrictor. And I think that Alabama has the most talented defense in all of college football. Now, their defense does have some flaws. They can give up some big plays over the top in the secondary, but for the most part, when you look at their defensive line and their linebackers, they can really get after you. They got some damn cyborgs on that side of the football, like Dallas Turner. Oh my goodness, have you seen him? He looks like the Incredible Hulk, but in football form. This dude is shredded. I mean, they got some damn athletes on that side of the football, and Tennessee's offensive line, they just didn't really do a good job at winning on the line of scrimmage. They went for fourth down on multiple occasions, and they got stopped on every single occasion. And Joe Milton is pretty big. He's like 6'5", 30-something, 240-something pounds. And Alabama was stopping him every single time. And Joe Milton did a really good job of running with the football. They definitely used him more in the run game than what they have done in the past. But it still wasn't really enough. Like, Alabama just was more physical than Tennessee in this game. And Tennessee is a pretty physical football team themselves based on how they played this year. But the fact that Alabama was able to get after Joe Milton in the second half was the big story in this game. And Jalen Milroe, I think that, you know, he's a better quarterback than what I initially thought he would be. Like, I thought that after that Texas game that, yeah, he probably would have played a little bit better, but he played a pretty good game. And the thing with Jalen Milroe is just, you want more consistency out of him as a passer. You can know what he can do on the ground with his legs. He's super dynamic in the run game, but when it comes to passing, he can be really hot and cold in certain moments of the game. Now, he does throw a really good football, and Jermaine Burton is starting to emerge. They also got another wide receiver who's starting to emerge as well. His name kind of slipped my thought process, but Alabama, people thought that this was going to be a team that was going to have a down season. They were going to have 2 or 3 losses. And there were a good amount of people who thought that Tennessee was going to win this game. And like I told you guys before this game, there's no good teams that just beat Alabama at home. Like, when you look at the teams that beat Alabama, great teams beat Alabama in Tuscaloosa. Texas is a great team. LSU, the year they won the national championship in 2019 with Joe Burrow at the helm at quarterback, they were a great team. Like, Tennessee is a good team, but they're not a great team. And you just don't beat Alabama in Tuscaloosa not being a great team. Like, eventually, I felt like Alabama was going to be able to kick it into high gear, and they did. Now, I'm surprised that their offense had this kind of performance, but they were assisted out by the defense. But this offense did play a pretty good game. But for the most part, you know, people need to stop overlooking how good of a team Alabama is. Like, this isn't the same Alabama that we're accustomed to seeing in the past. This isn't an Alabama team that just is going to blow you out. Like, some of their games are going to be close. Like, they were a 9.5 point favorite going into this game. But I feel like this game could have been close, and it was close for the most part. But Tennessee's offense just went flat in the second half. Alabama, yeah, the way they win may not be super impressive, but their defense is really good, and this offense does have moments where they can get big plays downfield. It's not like this is an offense that's just ineffective at all. It's just you would like for them to be more efficient at times, but it kind of looks like this offense is starting to find their rhythm. They got a couple of receivers that are now starting to emerge. The offensive line still hasn't really played that great. Like, they gave up a good amount of sacks in this game, but the thing with Alabama is that when you got Jalen Milroe's athleticism to lean on, it's really hard for your offense just to get completely shut down, because I don't think there's too many defenses that have the kind of athleticism to be able to slow a guy down like Jalen Milroe when he decides to tuck and run. So Alabama gets another win. They beat Tennessee. at home 34-20. Like I said, like playing in Tuscaloosa is just not a place that anybody can win at. You got to be a great team to beat Alabama on the road at Bama. Tennessee is a good team. They're not a great team, and that's why they lost this game. Great teams find ways to close out games, and that's just something that Tennessee wasn't able to do, and Tennessee hasn't really been that impressive to me. Like, I don't even know if I'm going to have them ranked in my top 25 when it drops tomorrow. They lost to Florida. They lost to Bama. Like, what's Tennessee's best win this season? I don't really think they have one. I think they have Kentucky coming up this weekend. That's a really pivotal game for them. But let me know what you guys think about Alabama's win over Tennessee. They scored 24 unanswered to knock off the Vols.